how does that digital privacy works? Because electronic medium, things cannot work without taking the data. We're talking about AI, we are talking about IoT devices. Nothing works without data. The Digital India Act will have a dedicated act which will deal with all kind of cyber crimes. One dedicated legislation we will have, which will have definitions, which will have the kind of punishments that should go through. Just by after cybercrime.gov.in, there would be a automatic number, grievance number that will be there. At the very same moment, do not wait. 1930 is the number you need to call if it is to do with anything which is to do with losing your money.
Cybercrime is evolving rapidly, with criminals exploiting new technologies to target individuals, businesses, in fact, governments. From data breaches and ransomware attacks to social media scams and identity theft, these cyber threats are challenging not only for tech experts but also for our legal system. Navigating the complex legal landscape around cybercrime is crucial to ensure justice for victims and accountability for the perpetrators. So, for us to understand the legal mechanism at play in the fight against cybercrime, today we have with us Ms. Khushbu Jain. She is a seasoned advocate at the Supreme Court of India and a partner at Arc Legal, a firm known for its expertise in technology, media, privacy, and business law. Thank you so very much, Khushbu, for joining with us on One India and taking your time out talking to us on this very important matter, which is the need of the hour, cybercrime, and the legal aspect surrounding it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so Khushbu, let's just jump on the first question. Can you give us an overview of the current legal framework in India for addressing cybercrime, and how effective is it? Because, in the face of evolving threats.
No, so if you look into the cyber law in India right now, we have IT Act. IT Act governs there are a lot of provisions in the IT Act with respect to crime utilizing digital medium that can be computer, mobile, or any of those things. Apart from the IT Act, which covers portion of cybercrime, we have IPC. IPC, if I have to put it across, again been renewed as the Bharatiya Sahita, Bharatiya Nyaya Sahita. Now, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sahita, which got implemented from 1st of July 2024, specifically deals with crimes with respect to cyber. And it deals with a lot of things and give recognitions to stuffs, whereas organized crimes, digital mode, stalking, online stalking, threat to national security utilizing digital mediums, all kind of things that you think of, robbery utilizing digital means and modes. So if you'll see, the new law which has come into existence does recognize the new age crimes that are coming in. But nonetheless, there has been a talk of introducing Digital India Act in India. That Digital India Act will have a dedicated act which will deal with all kind of cyber crimes. One dedicated legislation we will have, which will have definitions, which will have the kind of punishments that should go through, and so on and so forth. But nonetheless, in the absence of that as well, we do have laws in place in BNS and along with it, IT Act.
Okay. If I talk about data privacy, which is again a very critical aspect of cyber law. So how does Indian law currently protect personal data of people? And is there any scope of improvement in that also?
Right to privacy became your fundamental right in the year 2017 via a Puttaswamy judgment of Supreme Court. Since then, it is one of your fundamental rights that you have something called as right to privacy, privacy in a digital mode. Wherein you can call somebody that this is my privacy, and if somebody infringes, you can sue them because your fundamental right is a right given to you as a human right. But with that came the aspect that how does that digital privacy works? Because electronic medium, things cannot work without taking the data. We're talking about AI, we are talking about IoT devices. Nothing works without data. They need your data. And for example, you're utilizing technology. I would want to call Uber, I have to give access to my location, right? So these services are also dependent on data that you provide, or, it can be looked into as an invasion to the privacy. That's where Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023 came into existence. That DPDPA Act talks nothing but it practically says your data, you have the ownership. So I can have to give a explicit consent to all these platforms, all these service providers who are giving you services. Gone are those days that you don't know what's happening in the internet. Who in the behind, let's say I'm browsing something, they have details of those
Mhm.
cookies. If if I'm writing something, if I'm doing something, that data stays with them. So now you give them consent that you want to take my data, take my consent, explicit consent, not
Mhm.
the consent which is given by lawyers, which are like 30-pager, 40-pager of a consent and you don't understand what it is about, but a consent which is unambiguous, which is explicit, which clearly tells that what data are you taking, for what purpose, and who all are you sharing with. So you have an ownership to your data. Now, the second aspect that comes with that is right to be forgotten, that you can erase your data. You can request that I want to delete my data which you have. You can recall back your consent. You can exercise right to nominate, that you want to nominate somebody else in the event of death or in the event of incapacity of the mind. You can say that I want to nominate somebody else who can take care of my profile or my data for that matter. So now is where you have the new act, which practically gives you a lot of ownership and also put in a lot of obligations on all these data fiduciaries who collect your data, and make them also understand that how exactly you have to move forward, because whatever said done, one is the aspect of right to privacy. The second is, with this data is where a lot of crimes happen.
Mhm.
The data is a key element when it comes to commission of the crime. Because if any cyber criminal has to orchestrate a crime, more the data, easier for him to orchestrate and make you fall prey for his whatever the story it is.
Mhm.
If that trust factor comes in, if he has more
Right.
information to make you believe in what he's saying that he is, which practically might not be true. So
Right.
for all the purposes as to privacy, national security, security of personal security, when it comes to financial security, we have realized that data is very important, and that's where we have an ownership. Plus, these companies have to have certain measures or obligations which they have to keep in place. Measures for security in case of some mishap, they have to tell you that this data has been gone. Tomorrow, if somebody calls you with the data and tries to cheat you, be aware about it.
Yeah. Well.
And obligations as to these basics, as
Mhm.
to take my consent, delete my data, update my data, and so on and so
We are talking about data, but in this digital world, we leave our digital footprint almost every second. I am quite sure that not everybody goes through when an app asks you to give a permission, and when we click on allow, nobody goes and checks what are the terms and conditions. So what, like, because digital world is evolving and it is evolving at a pace that there is no match to it. How do a layman person, because everybody is using internet, everybody, there was a time when there was just the youngsters or the educated ones, but today it has evolved to a level that even the uneducated ones have a phone, they have the access to the internet, and they are out in the digital world, and they are uh, what do we say, they are the very much in the proximity of being caught in this such cyber crimes or fall prey to cyber crimes. So how to stay vigilant, how to stay alert, what are the basics that one can follow?
on. See, that's what I was talking about, that these terms and conditions allow, do not allow, what exactly.
Mm.
That's where they're coming up with unambiguous kind of a thing,
Mm.
which has to be a one-pager or a two-pager, where they clearly define. It has gone to a level that the new act says that it should be in 22 languages, which have been there in your 8th schedule of the Constitution. So
Okay.
the people, basics, if I want to know, it
Mm.
should be in the language that I understand, so that I don't have to just say yes or no, to the thing which I don't even know. Number one. Number two, if they take the data, which ideally they should have not been taken, and they are not taking your consent, that's where they can be a 50 crore of a penalty. Up to 50 crore of penalty that can be imposed on these companies. So gone are those days where you talk about such an opaqueness that they can really hide behind those languages and ask some data from you and do something. So that transparency and accountability has come with the DPDP Act. But nonetheless, apart from the act, the things which has to be done by us has to be done by us. And for that, point number one, be limited when it comes to sharing of information. I understand that we live in the age of infodemic and the fear of missing out. We have, all of us have it, and we want to share everything. But you have to be a little vigilant on what you're sharing on internet, because as rightly said by you, digital footprint stays. Data is here to stay and it doesn't get deleted. So be little limited on what you're sharing. Be cautious of what you're sharing. Number one, when you're utilizing, you're in the internet world. Best is to have things downloaded from the App Store or from the Play Store. Do not go on venturing out things, because there can be malicious links that can be attached to those platforms, or those APK files or other things
Right.
which you download on internet. So best is that at least have another layer of security, that go on the App Stores only or Play Stores only to download some things. But the third that you do is understand what exactly is the data they're taking. Uh, it is very important that you understand what's exactly happening, whether the camera is switch on, switch off mode. Like for example, Apple has got a feature that if any way the camera is on, there would be that light that would blink. So
Hmm.
be a little more vigilant on that part as well. Lesson number three. Number four, um, uh, when you go to any of these apps and you say, yes, I'm utilizing it for this purpose, read a little, spend just 2 more minutes to understand that whether it is being utilized for any other purposes as well.
Hmm.
Like, with the curiosity, there are voice AI apps. There
Hmm.
are apps where, you remember the rage where how you will look after 25 years.
Yes, yes,
Everybody uploaded their picture. So
yes.
understand what it is about and how it is, and understand that aspect. Even when you're sharing somebody else's information, be a little more vigilant. Now, the next that comes over here is, let's say a lot of people take loan online, a lot of people play games online. Be vigilant there also. That when you're taking the loan, when you're doing online trading, a lot of businesses have gone online, right? You want to do trading online, you want to take up small loans, those very small loans, you take it online. Be vigilant that where are you taking from?
Hmm.
Nobody can give you loan if they are not registered under the
Yes.
RBI, under the scheme. We see that who those entities are. When you talk about trading companies, check it if you're doing trading with any of high returns. Even when you've got three returns,
Hmm.
good returns, you
Hmm.
can't trust them, because there would be a chance that sixth return they will disappear because
Yes.
they've got a good call.
Hmm.
So check out on SEBI website whether that entity actually is registered or not.
Hmm.
Because tomorrow, when something like that happens and they disappear, we are living in the world of internet where there is no presence. So to
Yes.
get catch hold of them becomes impossible
Hmm.
or very difficult. So that's where you have to understand that where exactly what you're doing. And if you're doing things like this, where you're spending money, or where there is a chance of getting mishap like this, be little more extra layer of security by checking things from the authentic source. Very important. When it comes to now gaming also have some hidden pop-ups which keeps coming, or they take certain data, or they ask. When your kids are playing games, they ask you very small things. कि, okay, for going to the next level,
Yes.
2 rupees you have to pay and buy some stuff.
Hmm.
And you feel, yeah, 5 rupees, 2 rupees to lene hai, so it's
Hmm.
okay. No, they might take your but financial details. They might ask you that, okay, go to the next level, and for that, put details of your mother's this. Put
Hmm.
details of your house. Click a picture of the door, and these are utilized later when it comes to ransom calls and things like that. That we are sitting over here, or for that matter, digital arrest.
Hmm.
More the information with them, they know how to orchestrate. They said we are standing outside, the yellow door of yours, and if you step out, we'll arrest you. So
Hmm.
you're very scared. But ideally, they would have not been sitting in your jurisdiction. They might be somewhere, far off in Cayman Islands and doing all these things. So you have to be vigilant, not just yourself, but your near and dear ones. Like if
Hmm.
you have parents, you have kids, look into them also. That what exactly are they doing? What exactly are they? What's happening on those platforms? And you have to be very cautious nowadays when you're surfing internet. Not that you need to be scared of it, because we are in digital India phase. We can't go back, but be little cautious as to what you're sharing, how things are, what they're doing, utilizing that data. And is there an option to delete? Now that that option to delete come, why not utilize that thing? Keep separate aspects when it comes to OTP coming in your phones. Have a separate options, because if let's say some SIM cloning happens, SIM swapping happens to your phone, or let's say for that matter, if there is some team viewer kind of a thing or something else that has come up where which is mirroring the entire thing which is happening, OTP comes in your phone only. So that's where you can have that combination of things that, let the OTP go to somebody else, or if your elder ones are there, let their OTP come to yours, so that even if they are hacked somehow, things can be taken care of. You can
Right.
limit those things. Three best thing which everybody should do when it comes to financial part, whenever you open a bank account, whenever you have a gateways, have those numbers period in your phone beforehand. Because tomorrow, if something has happened, those numbers should be readily with you. You cannot go on Google at that time and search. There
Right.
can be a high likelihood that in the Google search also the number that comes would be of the criminal only. So
Criminal.
that's why you can have that precautions, that have some things ready with you so that you can exercise if something happens.
You have given a lot of information on this. I hope the people who are watching this right now, they connect and they understand. They take inputs also because it's very important for their own safety. Because digital world is very complicated. Having said that, my next question to you, Khushbu, is what about the rights do victims of cybercrime have? Like if someone has fallen prey to any cybercrime, what rights do they have, and what steps should they take immediately after discovering that they have been targeted, or they've been falling prey, or they have been, duped out of some money? What can they do?
Cybercrime.gov.in. I'll repeat again, cybercrime.gov.in.
Mm.
That's the portal by Government of India. You should go there, file a complaint over there. It's literally one paragraph of a complaint that you can file. You don't need any lawyer or anybody for that matter. All you have to put over there is what happened.
Mm.
You got a call, you got a message, you got this, or you did this, and after that, this happened. Put that in a story, date wise, and whatever you're saying, whatever evidence you have in that. Like, for example, you got a WhatsApp message and then this happened. Click a screenshot of that WhatsApp message, put it across. If you have got, like, then you have transferred the money, then put a screenshot of that details.
Mm.
Or, that copy, if you have a bank statement of that specific transaction, put that. If not, then you might get the message,
Mm.
put that. Put the account number which you have transferred. So a few things which you have to keep in mind. These things you just put it across and attach it. Once you do that, it will continue from there. Just by after cybercrime.gov.in, there would be a automatic number, grievance number that will be there. At the very same moment, do not wait. 1930 is the number you need to call if it is to do with anything which is to do with losing your money. 1930. Make a call to that. Again, a helpline number of Government of India. Call over there at 1930. Keep two things ready. The grievance number, which was there by cybercrime.gov.in, plus what money has been transferred from which account to which account on what date, because they will do that cross check.
Mhm.
Once they do that, they are going to a level of securing your money or attaching the money which you have been transferred to these accounts, because there can be an aspect that when you have transferred this money has gone to some Ram's account. From the Ram
Mm.
account, it has gone to some Ibrahim's account.
Right.
From Ibrahim, it has gone to some Sita's account. Now, when you go to Ibrahim or Ram or Sita, they practically no idea. It can be there would be no Ibrahim, or for that matter, there can be an aspect that the Sita doesn't know that there is a bank account or a payment gateway opened on his name, and she
Mm.
doesn't know about it. So these are called as mule accounts.
Okay.
And they use these mule accounts to transfer the money, and from there it can go to buying of a gift card, buying of transferring that into crypto, so that it makes it much difficult. Plus, different jurisdictions are involved in
Mhm.
the country and outside the country, which makes it a little more difficult for enforcement agencies to work seamlessly. That's where you have to act very fast so that at the initial stage only, from first, second, third, fourth, they can block the money so that that money of yours is blocked. This is the part where you can get freeze your money. Once your account is frozen, you will start getting SMS that this much money of yours is frozen.
Mm.
This much money of yours is frozen. Then you can file a small petition, case in the court for releasing that money back to you.
Mm.
That's when it comes to your money side. The other side that goes is the complaint which you have filed in cybercrime.gov.in that goes through your nearest police station. Then that criminal thing that goes on so that they can catch hold of these criminals. That's a parallel thing to on.
Mm.
But you need to have that security that the money which is gone, at least you're safeguarded, that your money, whatever, how much you can secure, it can be full amount, it can be half, it can be one fourth, it can be three fourth. At least secure that amount so that you're in a better position.
Mm.
That's with your financial crime. But cybercrime.gov.in, you have one more option that you can file complaints anonymously if it is to do with, let's say, harassment. Somebody's putting somebody's explicit
Mhm.
pictures and you
Mhm.
want to get note, or you're scared of sharing those things. You can have an anonymized complaint. You feel that your friend is being, harassed or something is going wrong. You can make a complaint on behalf of them. So that's a aspect that is coming in to keep in mind. The other thing which people have to remember now is not just cybercrime, but I'm taking a step forward, women related. that now you've got an option. If anything has happened when it comes to crime against women, you can request, especially aspects like harassment or
Hmm.
stalking or rape or those kinds of things. You can request that my statement be recorded from my home.
Wow.
You need not go to the police station.
Hmm.
That's the new act, the three acts which have come up, the changes have come up in that. So you can have that as an option as well, so that you're not that scared societal pressure. And I have to say that, gone are the days we have to move the society that we need to stop victimizing the victim. But till that time, at least you have that security with you that you don't have to be worried about. And I think complaint has to be done.
Right.
Whether you have lost the money, whether something has done, whether you've got little something, just go and complain so that
It is
picking up this
registered.
is easy. If you have
Ah.
not fall prey, you have somehow escaped, there would be 10 more who would fall prey by that guy. So
Hmm.
picking up that guy, arresting that guy is very important. That's why you need to put a complaint. It's
Right.
very important to put a complaint. Plus, there are platforms by I4C, some stuff specifically like Chakshu and others, where
Hmm.
you can go SMS header, where you go and check SMSs. Like for example, if you get a message from your bank that this much money of your has been debited,
Hmm.
and if this is not, you block in tiny URL. When you click on tiny URL, after that, your money is gone.
Hmm.
So you need to understand that that SMS header where that comes, the HDFC Bank, BK something, or Airtel, or money something. You can put that header on that SMS header dot checking, which is of Sanchar Bharti.
Hmm.
You can put over there and check whether it actually belongs to them or not.
Okay.
So those things, there are some things which you need to keep handy in your thing to check
Great.
that, okay, I can do this. Chakshu is another portal by them where you can go and register things. You can block your phone numbers, you can block
Hmm.
your mobiles, and once you get it, you can again unblock it so
Yeah.
that somebody is not misusing it. There
Right.
have been instances where people's WhatsApp stop working for next 5 hours or
Hmm.
5 days,
Hmm.
and it again automatically starts working. But then I have had cases, trust me, where there has been an extortion call utilizing that WhatsApp number. And
Oh.
he says, no, my WhatsApp stopped working for 5 days or, one day. But there's no way to prove that. And
Ah.
it takes
Right.
a little time to prove it. So that's where be vigilant. If something like that is happening, if your phone number gets stopped working for unnecessary reason or your WhatsApp gets stopped working, be little smart and just go and complain about that.
Hmm.
So that tomorrow, if some mishap is happening, utilizing your phone, utilizing your WhatsApp or your phone number, things are being recorded and it can save that.
Like you do your own part of the work. Rest
Absolutely.
the rest the administration and the government is going to take care of, right? True. You touched upon the point of cross border also, how it becomes so difficult to trace that. So can you explain the legal challenges involved in the prosecuting cross border cyber crimes, and which is located outside India? Because mostly what I know, the cyber crimes are operated outside the country only.
See, that's a very crucial point that you have touched upon, and law practically works on the jurisdiction. We have difficulty even when it comes to different states in our own country. So imagine when you're talking about different countries involved
Countries.
into it. And this is something which whole world is grappling with, and this is a benefit which is this criminals took place. They
Mm.
think that, okay, if I'm gonna, let's say, steal 10,000 of yours, 10,000 of somebody else, for you, you would not go on complaining for 10,000 and 10,000 claim they will go to,
Mm.
some other country, because
Mm.
let's say in some other continent, like in Africa or in Asia, some other place or
Mm.
somewhere, far
Mm.
off. So that's where UN is coming up that they want to formulate something together where all countries who are signatory to it can come up and can have a seamless sharing of information,
Mm.
and the enforcement agencies can seamlessly work together so that in timely manner these criminals are being caught, and at the same time the money flow can also be taken care of, and some other things which happens, illegal activities with respect to drug trafficking, human trafficking, and so on and so forth can also be taken care of. So they're coming up with that. I think India is also a signatory to over there, and we are waiting that once that got done, we are in a better state. But now we do have things in place, but not the way it should be, not with the way numbers are increasing of criminals. And they literally sometimes go with very small numbers. So
Mm.
they do in bulk, and that creates a problem for somebody to work on. So that's
Right.
where I think the things have been looked upon and been worked upon globally, where all countries are wanting to come together. But then we have a lot of bilateral agreements with a lot of countries where we share information, where we do those things, and those bilateral agreements work very beautifully.
Mm.
But with the pace and how fast this digital aspect works, we need that medium which UN is talking about, and let's wait and watch for that.
Let's just hope that this comes into, it gets enforced as early as possible, because it is going to be a massive crisis situation globally, not just in our own country. It is a huge thing because everything is interconnected, everything is interrelated. Be it terrorism, be it human trafficking, be it drug dealing, everything comes under the same basket, and it is huge. It is alarming. It is dangerous. It sounds so scary and threatening at the same time. I'll take one last question from you, Khushbu. Looking forward, what new legal developments or reforms do you foresee as essential for tackling all these cyber threats effectively?
See, I personally have a feeling that because it's difficult for everybody to navigate in the internet and so many options, like for example, I was telling you about Chuckstro, I was telling you
Mm-hmm.
about SMS header and then something else, and going to I4C portal and cybercrime.gov.portal. I would say that we can have one app which can be by the government of India, where you have all these options ready. If I want to check the SMS, whether it is coming from the same, the authentic one, I can check that. If I want to complain for any number which is coming, I can complain, put it over there only. If I want to complain a cybercrime thingy, that can happen over there only. So one easy way of doing things can be that there can be one app and a one portal where all these things are readily available in a language where people understand that for this, click here, for this, click here, for complaint, click here, for financial crime, specifically do this so that it becomes easy for people to complain and things can go faster. But I know that how government is working. Ministry of Home has got Ministry of Home Affairs has got cyber commandos, and they want to train all the cyber commandos in each
Oh, wow.
state, and they're working a lot to increase the capacity of forensics as well, mobile forensics, because again, this is going to grow because easier said than done. The problem that comes is catching hold of these criminals. Second, that comes is even if you're caught, putting them behind the bars, because then electronic evidence plays a very important role.
Mhm.
And there again, there is a huge problem that comes in. So we are increasing that capacity building is happening, but I feel that it has to be done more faster. And for that awareness and for the complaint system, there has to be something that can be done, which can be easy for everybody and anybody to
Mhm.
understand and navigate.
Right, right. Thank you so very much, Khushbu. It was such an insightful conversation that we just had. I mean, our viewers would love to see this. I personally enjoyed it. You gave us so important points, and you talked about these apps and sites where people can go and check certain things. Um, Thank you so very much. We really appreciate your time and your expertise, and we look forward to more contributions from you, in the evolving realm of cyber law. Thank you so very much for joining us and talking to us on One India.
Lovely, lovely talking to you. Thank you so much.